like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
The crowd's roar that night was like a living ocean, waves of purple light and heartbeat energy flooding every corner of the stadium. From the moment armies began to arrive, something in the air felt different. It wasn't just another concert, it was a night charged with anticipation, nostalgia, and a quiet sense that history was about to be made. Hours before the show, faint sounds from a microphone echoed across the empty seats. A few sharp-eared fans caught it, that unmistakable voice, rich and warm even through the static. Within minutes, the whispers spread like wildfire through the crowd. Was he really here? Was he going to perform? By the time the lights dimmed, the air was electric. The giant LED screen played a short montage of Jin's solo tour highlights, laughter, tears, rehearsals, and then, without warning, a low bass note thundered across the stadium. The lights flared. A silhouette appeared at center stage. The crowd erupted. It was him. Jungkook stepped into the light wearing a black leather jacket, his hair glinting under the strobes, his expression calm yet commanding. The cheers rose into a single, unbroken scream that seemed to shake the ground. For a moment, time froze, and then, with the first note he sang, everything exploded into life. This was only his second live performance since completing military service, yet it felt like he had never left the stage. His vocals were steady, powerful, and crystal clear. Every move flowed with precision, every glance radiated confidence. He wasn't just performing, he was living the song. Armies cried, sang, and shouted his name. The energy was contagious. Jin stood beside him, smiling through tears, watching his younger brother reclaim the stage. At one point, between verses, Jin patted Jungkook's shoulder and said softly, "You did amazing." Jungkook smiled, that small, sincere smile that could melt an entire stadium, and bowed slightly in return. The two of them standing together felt symbolic, almost poetic. Jin, the eldest, graceful, grounded, full of warmth, and Jungkook, the youngest, radiant with strength and youth. Their chemistry was undeniable, their connection unshakable. It wasn't just music, it was family. For Jungkook, the night was a triumphant return, proof that he'd grown not only as a performer, but as a man. The shy teenager who once stood quietly behind his older members was now commanding a stage of his own, calm yet blazing with charisma. Every smile, every wave to the fans carried a new kind of maturity, confident, tender, and full of love. And for armies, it was pure magic. They sang along until their voices cracked. Some wept openly, overwhelmed by the joy of seeing him again. That night, Jungkook didn't just perform. He healed something deep inside everyone who missed BTS together on one stage. Within minutes, clips of his surprise appearance flooded the internet. Hashtags like #Jungkook surprise stage, #Jin last concert, and #BTS forever topped global trends. Fans called it the most emotional moment of 2025, and even media outlets described the performance as a living symbol of brotherhood. And yet, Jungkook's journey didn't stop there. Just days before the concert, his newest Calvin Klein campaign had dropped, instantly going viral. His face adorned billboards from New York to Tokyo, his name dominated every trending list across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Every brand that worked with him called him a phenomenon, and they were right. But among ARMY, excitement was brewing for another reason. Rumors began circulating that HYBE had secretly reserved multiple stadiums around Asia and Europe. Some said a world tour was in the making, Jungkook's first solo world tour. Billboard even reposted a fan's photo holding a sign that read, "Jungkook World Tour when?" It felt like the world was collectively holding its breath for his next move. And when you look back, it's no surprise. Before enlistment, Jungkook gave everything to his first solo album, Golden. It wasn't just a record, it was a declaration. Filled with honesty and emotion, the album revealed a side of Jungkook that many had never seen before, raw, vulnerable, yet deeply driven. He promoted it tirelessly, appearing on stages across continents, giving interviews, and even releasing the documentary I Am Still, which peeled back the curtain on his struggles and growth. That documentary showed what many already felt, that behind the polished superstar was a young man who worked relentlessly, loved sincerely, and cared deeply about his craft and his fans. Seeing him back on stage after all that, stronger than ever, made everything come full circle. Jungkook has evolved, not just as a vocalist or dancer, but as a storyteller. His presence commands attention, his artistry speaks for itself. That night, beneath the Seoul sky, Jungkook reminded everyone why he's considered one of the greatest performers of his generation. Meanwhile, Jin's concert, the grand finale of his Happy and Echo tour, was equally unforgettable. Over 2 nights, he performed non-stop for 2.5 hours, blending songs from both his solo albums with old favorites that many hadn't heard live in years. Every performance felt intimate, every lyric carried meaning. In one particularly emotional moment, Jin paused between songs and said, "I don't know if I deserve this much love, but thank you for always waiting for me." His voice trembled, his eyes glistened, and the crowd responded with a deafening chorus of, "We love you, Jin." In true Jin fashion, he extended his final concert by 30 minutes just so fans could stay longer. He even lowered the VIP ticket prices, something almost unheard of, just so more people could attend. Jin never cared about profit. What mattered to him was connection. He wasn't performing to impress, but to embrace. The sincerity in his every gesture moved everyone. As fireworks painted the sky and thousands of light sticks swayed in unison, the atmosphere was beyond words. When he sang Moon, tears streamed down faces across the stadium. It wasn't just a song anymore. It was a memory, a promise, a thank you. Since his military discharge, Jin has been unstoppable. He released 2 critically acclaimed albums, Happy and Echo, appeared on variety shows, hosted Weverse Lives, and even launched his solo content series run with Seekjin, filled with humor, warmth, and his unique charm. He's proven that his talent and heart go hand in hand, captivating fans not only through his music but also through his kindness. His solo tour became a cultural milestone, selling out multiple arenas, breaking a 12-year record in Japan, and becoming the first Korean solo artist to sell out 2 consecutive nights in London. Every performance felt like a celebration of love, between Jin and ARMY, between music and memory. And then came the moment no one will ever forget, when Jungkook joined him on stage. 2 brothers, 2 souls bound by years of music, laughter, and tears. Jin looked at him proudly and said, "You make me proud, Jungkook." Jungkook smiled and nodded, eyes shimmering. It was brief, but powerful, a moment that carried the weight of everything they'd been through together. As the final song faded and the lights dimmed, the audience stayed, chanting their names long after they'd left the stage. No one wanted the night to end. But maybe that's what made it so beautiful, knowing that even when the music stopped, the feeling remained. Because nights like this don't fade. They become part of the story. For Jin, it was a farewell, tender, graceful, full of gratitude. For Jungkook, it was a rebirth, bold, electric, filled with promise. And for ARMY, it was a reminder of why they fell in love with these 7 men in the first place. Not just for their songs, but for their hearts. As videos from the concert spread across the world, one thing was certain, BTS's magic wasn't gone. It was evolving, growing stronger, shining differently, but shining all the same. Jin closed the night with a smile. Jungkook looked toward the future. And the world held its breath, waiting for what comes next. Because in every smile, every glance, every tiny moment between them, the story continues. This is BTS. And this is the magic that never fades.